choice.
Hey, tell him stop playing with the net. Tell him stop playing with the net. Tell him get caught in the net out there and get sticky.
All right, everybody. We are back. It is Tape Don't Lie podcast, episode 2. I'd like you to welcome back. It's my man, B.D. Williams, and myself, Marcus Johnson, giving you guys some more breakdowns of everything Raiders. Make sure you follow us at B.D. Williams 18 and at the Mark John NFL. So make sure you follow both of us on Twitter. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Tape Don't Lie. I want to thank the first about 60 subscribers that we got off the first podcast. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for leaving the comments and giving us great feedback as well. We definitely appreciate everything you guys gave us. So definitely helped us out a lot, and we definitely want to give you guys the best podcast that we can. So definitely give us feedback. That if you do see anything else, leave it right in the comments. Also leave as many comments as you can. And like I said, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're going to give you a lot of content here. So
much love to those first 60 followers, man.
Exactly.
That's what we do it for you guys, right?
Exactly. So, saying it's a small room. We want to make it a bigger room. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and, tell your friends if you did hit subscribe that you like the podcast. So how you doing, BD? How you feeling, man? Good?
Hey, man, I'm good. How you doing?
No, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. So this week we're going to be covering the Raiders' red zone offense, which has been a huge talk. The Raiders were one of the best offenses of the league from the 20 to the 20, but inside the 20, it was different everywhere. And we're ready to break down what they need to do better in the pass game and what they need to do better in the run game as well for both sides, because there was a little bit of struggle from the run game and the pass game. And then we're hitting up a rookie. What rookie are you hitting up this week, DBD?
I'm gonna go ahead and break down Damon Arnett film here. So stay tuned for the second half of this episode. Stay tuned, Raider Nation.
Yes, for sure. So, like I said, once again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, this content is going to be here for you every single week. So, and we appreciate you if you do. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to get into the Raiders red zone offense. All right. So the red zone, it is a key part of the NFL. You want to be able to be consistent in the red zone and not kick field goals. You've won touchdowns, especially in today's NFL. You need touchdowns in today's NFL. Kicking field goals is not gonna help you out, especially when you get to later on in the game. Teams are gonna be going for it on fourth down, and they're gonna be trying to score touchdowns, not going for field goals. At certain points, and teams are more aggressive on fourth down. If you just end up kicking field goals, especially with the passing league, teams can score quickly. So finishing in the red zone was a big issue for the Raiders last year.
Right.
They finished 22nd. They had a lot of problems at the end of the year. I mean, the Jags game was a big one where they had a lot of problems. And, of course, the Broncos game, they had problems there too, right? But, I mean, it was basically kind of a problem all throughout the year. And I'm going to go over a couple of plays earlier on in the season. One of the big games where they had really a big problem in the red zone was the Packers game. I'm going to go over a couple plays there. And the Lions game as well. They did finish the red zone pretty good, but there's going to be some situations where, they ended up with the field goal, could have been a touchdown. So we're going to go over some of those plays. And let's go ahead and get that going. Let's get that rolling here. All right, so this first play is one of my favorite red zone plays they ran here. This was week 1, and this is against the Denver Broncos, right? So, I mean, we see the Denver Broncos. I mean, they're in man-to-man. It's man-to-man single high. Let's go back a little bit. You see they switch down to man-to-man. Now Derek Carr knows that he has cover 1. It's man-to-man. It's close. I mean, you're never going to see cover 3 or anything like that down here, especially when you have single high. So he understands that he has man-to-man coverage pre-snap, right? And then, of course, we got the dig out the top, right? Got kind of a little straight arrow route here from Ryan Grant. I mean, you guys probably remember he was on the team last year. And this is Tyrell Williams right here. He's running the dig route, right? Then we got Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau, he's going to be running basically a corner route. And then we got Jacobs going to the flat. And, of course, we got Darren Waller up here at the top. Now, the Raiders are in 12 personnel. All right, so we know John Gruden loves to have his tight ends, but what I love what they did in this Broncos game is, I mean, when they ran 12 personnel, they ran a lot of spread, and Foster Moreau and Darren Waller have some good athletic ability that they can create some tough matchups that they're able to spread it out in these situations. But what I really love about this play is when we watch from Derek Carr is just the dime that he throws here into a tight window. So let's go ahead and check that out. Let's let it run. Look at that. Boom. Beautiful throw. So let's take it back a little bit. I mean, usually right here, I mean, there's not a lot of room in the red zone, right? So you got to throw some tight window throws in the red zone if you really want to be effective, especially where the Raiders are lined up at inside the 10. If you're going to be throwing inside the 10, I mean, you got to be able to take some chances and throw into some tight windows, and hope your receivers will help you out and make a play. So on this one, I mean, if you stop right here, I mean, there's really not a lot of room for Derek Carr to get this in. And he does show a lot of anticipation with this throw because he basically throws Williams open. Because at this point, if he's just throwing it on a regular, he's not trying to aim for a certain spot to get Williams some extra room to catch this football. I mean, it may not be the best outcome that he wanted, but you need him to take these chances inside the red zone. Boom, look at that throw, dime. Love it. Everybody's celebrating, everybody's happy, right? And then we'll see it from the backside. You see how good of a throw this is from the backside. Yeah, just perfect, right, just zipping it over people's hands, getting them open, and that was a great play right there. And you love to see that. That's what you want to see. You want to see Derek Carr be a little aggressive in the red zone. The best red zone quarterbacks like Carson Wentz, I mean, he's super aggressive there. And for them to make some of the passing concepts work, he has to be aggressive. All right.
What I really like about that play too is that you were saying in the red zone you're mostly going to get man coverage, right? So you got those crossing routes. And it turns into a race. It's, is your guy faster than my guy? So maybe with this injection of speed in the offense this year, you might even see that play a little bit successful. But the other thing I love about that play is that it really works against zone too, because you saw at the end of the play, there's 4 players, outside of the left hash, four routes finished outside of the left hash.
Yeah.
And when you're playing zone, you just can't, you're not going to have that many defenders in that area. So it works against both man and zone.
Exactly. I mean, what bothers me about that play, though, I mean, they never ran it again. I don't understand why they never ran that again in the red zone when it worked. That was interesting. So I don't know if you remember ever seeing that play again, that design down the red zone, but I don't remember seeing that again. And this play is kind of the same way. I love this play. I love this design. Basically, this is a pick play for Foster Moreau. Waller, right here. Here's Darren Waller. He's going to be coming right towards this Jair Alexander, right? This is cover 0. I mean, this is cover 0. You're going to see a blitz probably with cover 0. That's usually what comes with it, because if you get beat, if you give too much time in cover 0, somebody's getting open, especially with man-to-man, and there's nobody back there. There's no safeties back here at all. So cover 0 usually comes with some kind of pressure or some kind of blitz look. And Carr is great at reading this pre-snap. And when we get into this, you're going to see that he basically changes the play once he recognizes the blitz is coming. But back to design, this is Foster Moreau, right? He's going to be running basically a quick slant inside. That's going to come off the pick from Darren Waller. And yes, it is a pick play, but as long as he runs it right, he won't get the pass interference, right? So he's going to come and pick off Jair Alexander, and then Foster Moreau could become really quick underneath, right? Boom. It's wide open off of this. Boom. It's just wide open right there. It looks like an easy touchdown. I mean, Trevor Davis, I mean, he doesn't really get off the line here. So Kevin King is able to keep his eyes on Derek Carr the whole time, even though he's playing man-to-man defense, right, and cover zero. But he's able to keep his eye on Derek Carr because he basically has Trevor Davis locked up, right? There's no way he's getting out of that. Boom. But he's able to come down and kind of make it tougher for a touchdown and keep Foster Rowe from walking in, right? But, I mean, I love this design because the pick play causes an opening. Derek Carr is able to change the play once he recognizes cover zero, get the protections, get Jalen Richard in the right place. Then, bam, hits him. Touchdown. So I love that. All right, so this is a play that, you know, I definitely am not a fan of. I expressed that before plenty of times, which is the double jerk route play. Now, what the Raiders usually do with this play, they added a wrinkle to it this year in 2019, where instead of it being both corners, you'll see this player here run a post route. So on the a good example of it is week 2 against the Chiefs, 2019, Tyrell Williams, they run this play, Tyrell Williams scores a touchdown on it, right? So that's a great example of this play working. But here, what you're going to see is what I'm talking about is Carr throwing in the tight windows because he has a chance to make a touchdown on this play, right? But he kind of passes it up. And it's kind of weird why he does. I don't know why he does it right here. I mean, I'll try to kind of explain exactly what I'm seeing, maybe why he thought he couldn't hit that in there, but watch, we'll let it run here. Boom, right here, right? So, I mean, you see this window that he has right here with Darren Waller. So let me go back just a little bit, just a little tiny bit here. Stop it right here. So, you know he's running the quick little post right here, the quick little slant route. This is Blake Martinez. He's very far away from this, right? Carr's already playing his back foot. I mean, if he anticipates this a little bit and he throws it on time, I mean, this is a touchdown. So we run it, right? But he just passes it up. Kind of chucks it down to Josh Jacobs, gets a couple yards. But after that, I mean, they don't score on this drive, right? They end up getting stuffed the next 2 times, and they don't end up scoring. But they had a chance to score right here. I mean, you see it. I mean, he's looking right there. There's his eyes. He just got to anticipate and just whip it. I mean, this guy is a cannon. I mean, sometimes when I watch him, I'm like, man, you have a cannon. Just whip it. You could whip that in there. Like, I know you can. There's no way with your arm talent that he's getting over there. So I think Carr sometimes has to trust his arm over what is the smart throw. Like, he's got to be a little more cocky with his arm, I think, especially if he wants to get some of these, finish these drives off with touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, kind of check down, like I said, and then everything kind of fails from there, right? So, I mean, the passing game is more about Derek Carr taking more chances in the red zone. I mean, it also has a little bit of a design. Like, John Gruden runs that play all the time. I mean, eventually, it's going to get knocked down. Like when they ran it with Shelby Harris, it's going to get knocked down. I mean, eventually. If you come out with the splits and it's 2x2 and it kind of has the same look, NFL teams going to catch on, especially when you've been running it for two seasons. It's not like he just ran it last year. He ran it for 2 seasons because I remember you showed on Twitter. I mean, that was a Derek Carrier play. Everybody loves that. Derek Carrier scores touchdowns. He's happy
against Pittsburgh, right? 2018, right?
Yeah, 2018 against Pittsburgh. Everybody's happy. Everybody's cheering, but I mean, if you just can't keep running that from that same look. So the passing game, it needs its work too. But one thing that we haven't been talking about in the red zone is the run game. And the run game, they did struggle in the red zone. Jacobs and Ingold inside the 3, they were 4 for 12 with touchdowns. So that tells you that, there's something missing there of why they can't score inside the 3 or why they aren't effective running the ball inside the red zone at all. a stat that I like to know. I mean, they're like 23rd in success rate. And what success rate is basically first down, you make a certain amount of yardage, basically 40%. Second down, you make 60%. And of course, third down you got to make the first down, right, to be successful. And the Raiders were in running the ball, they're 23rd. So, I mean, they were a 20-20 team in every aspect. It wasn't just passing the ball. They were a 20-20 team running the ball too. So, but first, I mean, really look at some of the running game, just when they did well in the running game. And what you'll notice is that the zone runs inside the red zone, they were effective, but we'll get to the power runs and the little bit of a difference, especially with Josh Jacobs, because he is an excellent zone back. Excellent outside zone. He reads it well. Inside zone, he reads it excellent. He's a zone back. But, I mean, we'll get to that. It's a little bit of difference with power, right?
Yeah, right.
So here we go. We get a little outside zone. All right. A little motion. I love this play. Look at the chop blocks on the backside. Look at that. It's incognito. Chop block on the backside. Right. You got Kurt Miller coming out here. He's about to stuff somebody. Oh, that's just beautiful. Oh, that's incognito. I'm sorry. Who's the left guard this game? Because I know Gabe Jackson was that. Was that good, right?
It's probably good, yeah.
Yeah, it's good right there. You got incognito, Rodney Hudson, Trent Brown. He's about to just look for something. He's looking for something. He's looking. He's ready to go. But you get the Jacobs here. You know, Jacobs got the outside zone look. He understands that he always got to cut back, right? He always got to cut back what lane he always has. He understands that with zone. He's able to read it. If I'm able to come straight on head on, he's going to go straight head on. If I'm going to cut back, I'm going to get the cut back. If I get the lane to the outside, he's going to take the lane to the outside. So with the outside zone, I mean, there's always a cutback lane for you to run through, and it's usually set up by some of the chop blocks that you'll see. And then, of course, there's the reach blocks that you'll see from the other linemen. The reach block is basically a block when you see an outside zone. You want to see the lineman's helmet get in the right position and all that good stuff. I guess I'm going a little in depth in there with the offensive line play, but I love a little outside zone here. And then, of course, you get the cutback, and then Jacobs just with the finish, just being Josh Jacobs. Boom. All right, so we remember this play too, 3rd and 1, game-winning drive against the Chargers. I think it was week 10, right? Week 10 for this one? Am I right about that? Yeah, week 10. This is a inside zone play here. So, I mean, really, like I'm saying, that's the theme here. We got 2 zone runs that led to some big touchdowns in the red zone, right? So we got a little inside zone. We got Josh Jacobs right here, Alec Ingold with the lead, right? And then, of course, you got the monster offensive line here. A little motion. 12 personnel, of course, right? Of course, you got Rodney Hudson going to the second level, already opening up the lane. And you already see it. See, Jacob already sees it, right? Inside zone's easy. Boom. He already sees it. He knows where he's going. Look at his eyes. He's not even worried about where Ingles doing, right? He's just hitting it. He knows there's 6 there. Boom. Breaks the tackle. Touchdown. That's beautiful. Everybody's happy. Everybody loves it, right? All right, so let's get to inside the 3. So inside, the 3, you're not going to see zone runs in here because, I mean, these guys are trying to just shooting gaps and all that stuff. You try to run you try to get cute with the little outside zone. I mean, you're going to get blown up. You're going to get, Josh Jacobs murdered. I mean, this is Kenny Clark right here. You try to run or do a reach block inside the 3. I mean, it's not going to be pretty, right? So you got to run a lot more power, right? A lot more power runs. You're going to see a lot more pulls, a lot of things like that. And, power is basically to break it down pretty easy, you block the man in front of you, right? There's really, if you got the guys in front of you, that's who you block, right? So on this play, This is basically be a power lead. So you're going to have Alec Ingold coming this way, right? And everything is flowing this way with the run, right? It's basically power lead run from the I formation. All right, there we go. See, so he's following Alec Ingold, right? So Alec Ingold is about to take out 31 here, right? So we already see this lane open it up. That's where it's at. I mean, this is blocked up really well. You see everybody's got a, a man-on-man hat on a hat. I mean, everything's blocked up really well. We see the lane open it up, right? Where he's supposed to go. This is a lead power, so he's supposed to just follow the fullback, right? Boom. And then the lane's even more, right? A little cut back here. We got it. Looks like that's 6, right? Josh Jacobs, like even if 93 comes here and hits Jacobs here, he's not hitting Jacobs back. It's Josh Jacobs. But Josh Jacobs has kind of already made up his mind that he's going outside. You can see it in his eyes. He's not even looking here. He's already made up his mind. He's going outside. Now, Foster Moreau, he's got a pretty good block here, right? For the lane, for where the design of the power run is supposed to go. He has a good block. But, 91 is going to get outside of him because Jacobs is supposed to cut this back up with the block, right? So 91 comes out. 91, which is Preston Smith, makes him have to cut back inside too late, right? 93 comes off, makes the tackle. Now, I show this play because the next play is the infamous Derek Carr trying to relive his Fresno State poster or shrine he has in his house, and and jumping over with doing whatever he was trying to do, and that's the next play after this. And I mean, that could have been solved with a touchdown, 17-14. Josh Jacobs, and power is different than zone. I mean, sometimes he's just he's got to be more decisive with power, and not try to read as much and try to,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You just got to just hit it. You just got to trust Alec Ingold's going to make that block, man.
I know that there's people who will probably disagree with me when I say this, and I don't claim to be a run game aficionado. But the thing is, with power versus zone, there's a lot of variables. You got to improvise and you got to find the lane and hit it. With power, this is the way that it's blocked up. You got to go there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of wiggle room, unless the play completely breaks down. But, if it's power, if it's counter, and Josh Jacobs is trying to bounce or trying to find lanes, he's probably getting yelled at in the meeting room because he's got to hit these holes the way it's designed. Otherwise, the play doesn't work.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. With zone, he's awesome. But I think with power, he has to be more decisive, right? So we see it again here. This is another power run, right? And this is out of shotgun, which I believe the Raiders should be doing. I think they should be running more out of shotgun in the red zone too. They can't be doing the whole traditional thing that much these days. I think they got to spread it out because you see right here, look at this box, right? This is the goal line. They're spread out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and of course you got the safety, right? But you expect Jacobs to be able to take that on. So I mean, they got the numbers here, right? They got the numbers. They got. With the tight end, they got 6 down. It's basically just Jacobs and the safety, and we take that chance every single time, right? And so this is another power run that we have here, and let's check this one out. Right, got the pull from the guard. He's coming around, and like this one, you already see it too. You already see the opening, right? Because I mean, you're trusting that 66 is going to get there, which he does. Boom, he's there, right? And then this is what you got. You got Jacobs and 25, right? All right, I'm taking Jacobs every single. That dude's not. He's not tackling Jacobs 101. I don't care what you say. Jacobs is gonna run that dude over and take him backwards. And if he did tackle Jacobs 101, much power to him. He's a dog. That's all I'm gonna say, right? But there it is. It's right there. But you already see where Jacobs' eyes is going, right? Like he's got to just follow the play right here, and then he scores, and that's a touchdown, right? But he cuts it back inside, got a little too cute, and that kind of just ruined the play.
That's the worst example. That's the worst example of Jacobs running power that I've seen, and that was one of my biggest criticisms of him this year. Obviously, he had a fantastic rookie year, but I noticed in power concepts, counter concepts, he was leaving a lot on the table. And I think it's, he's trying to read things. He's trying to find holes, and where it's just like, nah, just go where the play is telling you to go when it's power and counter.
And that's what I'm saying. If he gets that right, it's gonna be trouble, dude. I mean, because look how good he is, and that's something you can easily fix. That's just like being okay. I just got to be decisive. I can't try to make highlight reels every single play. So I think if he just starts hitting some of these holes, man, and decide I'm gonna make a highlight reel in the second level, you know what I mean? Right. Make the highlight reel the second level, bro. Like, you ain't got to make the highlight reel, at the first level of the line. Go make a highlight reel with 25 right there. Run him over. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that's something that's easily can be fixed. And all these issues I think can easily be fixed. I mean, I think Carr will have more trust in some of these receivers and deciding to make plays, because with Tyrell Williams, he had a lot of trust in him at first, but then he kind of lost it by the end of the year. So maybe that will change the way he's aggressive in the red zone too. So I think they'll be better in the red zone this year for sure. They need to be, but I also think they'll have more explosive plays where they don't need to depend on the red zone as well too.
Right.
Yeah. Any thoughts you got on that, BD?
Yeah. So the biggest thing really that stood out to me is, when we're looking at these examples of power in the red zone, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times did the Raiders even run power, counter, gap schemes? It's like 5% of the runs. Yeah. It's always zone, inside zone, outside zone. Outside zone is like what, 60% of the run plays that they run?
Yes.
So it's like when you're a team that really hangs its hat on one type of concept, it takes a lot of reps for a running back at the NFL level, at any level, but in the NFL, to like know the rhythm of the play and to get into the mindset where they're going to make something happen from a play. And if you're only running power, and on the 3rd and 1 in red zone, it's like 2 times a game. You're never going to get meaningful reps when you're Josh Jacobs to, make the most out of those situations. So hopefully we see more volume from the Raiders run game, and it's not just all zone. I hope that it's a little bit more varied. But yeah, that's something that always stuck out to me when watching the Raiders in 2019. It's just like they have no volume in the run game. They have 2 concepts that they do.
Yeah.
So,
and you can't run those concepts inside the 3. So, I mean, that's why they had a little bit of a struggle of scoring and running in the red zone. Because when you get to the red zone, everything's so tight. You want to be able to run the ball. I mean, that's the key thing. Do you want Carr to make plays and be a playmaker down the red zone? Of course. But you want to be able to lean your hat on Josh Jacobs. And that's the time you really want to lean on him, right? You want to move the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying? You could pass the ball, mix it and run, but you get to that red zone, man. You got to be able to run the football. The best teams in the red zone, they run the football. I mean, Derrick Henry. I mean, that same stat that I threw out there, he was 7 out of 10. So he's 70% down there, like inside the 3. You know what I'm saying? You give him the ball inside the 3, he's going to score because he's going to understand it. He's going to hit that hole, and he's going to, make that linebacker try to take him out. And he feels like that linebacker is not going to do it. So, you got to be able to run those powers and those counters and all that stuff and make plays. So
a lot of it too, and Derrick Henry had his struggles when he first got in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's just this last year that we saw him kind of, play to his talent level, which is an incredible talent level.
Yeah.
But, the difference, you're going up from college, wherever you played college, to the NFL, and then it's the red zone. It's, 3 yards. It turns into a very, very much of a grown man game, and you can't get cute. You can't try to make people miss. It's, who wants it more in those situations. So that's something that Josh Jacobs is going to learn. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. So that's basically Raiders red zone offense. What you got for us today, BD? You got a little Damon Arnett, right?
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to be going over Damon Arnett. And I talked about this on another podcast on the Rare Candy podcast. Shout out to G-Rock. But the Raiders love corners right now in Paul Guenther's scheme who come from big-time schools, okay? And the reason for that is when you watch big-time college football programs play defense, they love putting their corners in press coverage. And not only that, but they teach the type of press techniques that are taught in the NFL. So that's something that I think that why the Raiders were drawn to Damon Arnett. And so we're going to look at him in press coverage and the reason why I think that he's, making this jump in camp to locking down the starting cornerback position. So the first thing here, we got him. I think this is Sparty. Yeah, it's against Michigan State. Mm-hmm. We got him in a good press rep here. Okay. Now I want you to watch. He will step laterally and shoot his hands at the same exact time. Okay. So the reason why I'm showing you that, and I'm saying hands and feet work together, okay, because this is an example of him playing what's called a true press, okay? This is like the original bump and run coverage, okay? Hands and feet work together. And what I love about this rep is that he's got his hand on him. He's riding this wide receiver, okay, for dear life here. This guy has nowhere to go, all right? And because he knows he can feel him, some people call this a pressure key, a contact key. He's able to now get his eyes and visually key the quarterback because he knows exactly where the wide receiver is going because he has his hand on him. Okay, so he's playing the back shoulder fade right here. Okay, if we look, he's playing back shoulder. All right, but then it doesn't go back shoulder, and when the play, kind of breaks down a little bit on him, okay, because he has his hands on him, he's able to transition, turn his back, and keep on and fighting and play for the football here. Okay, so we'll just watch that rep one more time again. This is fantastic technique at all levels, up and down the route tree. Now, this is another similar example of him getting his hands on. He's playing a true press. He's playing the back shoulder, and then when the back shoulder doesn't come, steps laterally, and he shoots the hands. All right. Okay, so he's playing true press here. Again, he's keying the quarterback, visual key on the quarterback because he has his hands on the guy. So he's able to play the man, but also play the quarterback at the same time. That's high level technique. Okay. Now the ball gets in the air and he realizes it's not coming back shoulder. It's going over the top. So what does he do? Gets his hands back on the man. Okay. And breaks up the catch point. Gotta love this play. And we're going to look at some real textbook catch point. He punches up and then rakes down. So it's not good enough to do one or the other. You got to do both. Punch up, rake down, textbook technique, breaking up a pass down the sideline. Now we're transitioning, okay? We're going to watch his tape against Clemson, and he's using another style of press coverage here, okay? And again, when we're talking about Ohio State, we're talking about Alabama, we're talking about the big-time college football schools, they don't just teach one style of press coverage. They will teach you a few styles of press coverage. You kind of, have the onus on you as a player to use them in the right situation and what is comfortable for you, okay? So being a guy that can show he knows how to play multiple styles of press coverage automatically gets you, into the draft discussion, right? So we'll see him here take a little bit of a skip backwards before he gets his hands on, okay? And now this is different than the other style of press technique because his hands aren't shooting. His feet mirror first before he gets his hands on that's on the receiver's second or third step, okay? Some people call this a step kick, okay? Some people call this kick slide, but regardless, it's not a true press. You want to use your feet first, okay, to mirror before the hands come, right? And we see him being able to break up the pass here or defend the pass. And this is a big-time college football player, T. Higgins, who was drafted. Where was T. Higgins drafted? Second round?
Second round.
So this is a big-time college football player here, right? And he's showing that. Now, this is what got everyone real hyped up. this clip against Henry Ruggs here. Okay, so that last clip, he's using step kick. Okay, against a big wide receiver, a catch point, wide receiver. This time he's going to use the same technique, but this time he's going to use it against a speed wide receiver. Okay, and we see fantastic technique here all the way down to not only cut off Henry Ruggs, okay, but also get his head around and make a play on the ball. Now, we're seeing here, I'll slow this down a little bit, okay? So you see Henry Ruggs or Damon Arnett use this little step, and then he's mirroring with the feet first, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if the hands aren't shooting. If he's playing true press, he's going to take a lateral step, but then his hands are going to punch, okay? But he's not doing that. Notice how he's not doing that. This is the style of press coverage that Paul Guenther covets. This is what he wants his guys to do. This is why guys like Darryl Worley couldn't play press and had to play off man all the time. This is why Rashaan Melvin could never get into the starting lineup because he said he didn't like how Paul Guenther taught his defensive backs to play press. Okay. So this is what Paul Guenther prefers. This is the style of press that he prefers. And we see Damon Arnett doing a fantastic job of it. Yeah. So good. In fact, he's got the step, he mirrors with the feet first, and notice how he never one time even gets his hands on. He does all the work just with his feet. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that's a fast guy, probably, one of the faster guys in all the NFL right now. All right. Now there's some debate around whether or not Henry Ruggs was really going for it in this play. Yeah. But I don't know if you watched the mic'd up with Damon Arnett. Judging by his reaction, it's not just a drill. This is a one-on-one. You're not going to be talking all that smack after just a drill. Okay. Yeah. So I'm guessing that this is a live rep, and Henry Ruggs chooses. He's got a little bit of a foot fire here, and he chooses to use an outside speed release after the foot fire. Okay, a little bit of a hesitation, but Damon Arnett, he's not fooled by it. He gets his head around, and this is another thing that Damon Arnett does so well. It just pops up all throughout his film. He gets his head around. Okay, he trusts himself. You gotta be a confident corner and press man to get your head around consistently. It didn't matter who he played. Okay, what level of competition. Damon Arnett gets his head around. He's got a lot of confidence in himself, and it takes, a type of mental fortitude to be able to trust. You got your hand on the guy, get your head around, even though you can't see him, and play the ball in the air. So that's why, these are the reasons why I think Damon Arnett is a lock to start week one. But it's not all roses with Damon Arnett. Here we see him up there at the top of the screen. Okay. I'm just going to show some examples. So, I'm not just showing highlights here of examples where Damon Arnett, he needs to tighten up his technique a little bit. This is against Indiana. He had a great game against Indiana. This wasn't a great rep for him. And we'll notice here, okay, he takes these little power steps, but he gets on his heels. Okay, he's on his heels here, and he's in a bad situation. And because he's in a bad situation, he's not able to transition. And normally, when you're using press technique, and I think that he's using a step kick because his feet are so narrow, because you want to take a little power step and then mirror with your feet. You don't want to get on your heels because now your feet are so wide here, and you're on your heels. Now you can't transition one way or the other. You're stuck. Right? Mm-hmm. So because he's stuck, we're going to go ahead and see him reach out to grab, and then he grabs on because he's in a bad situation. Okay. And when he gets an in-breaking route, they see the little jersey tug. That's a little ticky-tack. It's not the worst interference that you'd ever see, but they called that pass interference on Damon Arnett. And really it comes down to not having great technique. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's some things that he's going to have to clean up. He's not a finished product yet. And I just want to, highlight that to Raider Nation. We're not talking about a guy who's an advanced, perfect, he's not a Champ Bailey or Richard Sherman at this point. But he has some of the right tools. So we'll see what kind of jump he makes as a rookie in the NFL this year. The next clip, it's another low light for him. He got, obviously he didn't give up a pass here, but it was a called pass interference. So he gave up probably like 12 yards, 15 yards in college. Here's another clip. This is against Quintus Cephas. Quintus Cephas is like, Marcus, in the draft community, people love this guy's game. Okay. He might not be a great athlete. I think he ran really poorly at the combine. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's a release master. All right. He's got a great release game, great route running tree. This guy, Quentin Cephas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he eats Damon Arnett a little bit here. Okay. And we'll see him. He's got that, he's got this foot fire. He's attacking the outside, and you see him put his foot down here, and he gets Damon Arnett, okay, to start bailing with his feet a little too early.
Mm-hmm.
And because he gives it up so early here, he allows Quentin Cephas to get back inside of him, okay, and he has to wheel around, and that's really not something that you want to do. Just speaking from experience, you start wheeling around like that, okay, you're going to get made fun of in the film room if when this happens, when you wheel around like that, okay? He got bailed out. They got a safety over the top, and the quarterback threw a bad ball. But, going back to this clip on Henry Ruggs, we see that cleaned up a little bit, okay, because when he starts when he does this kick, okay, let's slow it down to right here, okay, and he starts transitioning, all right, he's in a position here, okay, where he's not allowing the inside move, right? So I think hopefully that part of his game is cleaned up a little bit, but again, not perfect, but he's got the tools, the multiple different styles of press coverage that Paul Gunther covets, which is why I think that he's a lock to start week 1.
Yeah, I mean, for what he's doing in camp and how he's playing, I mean, I don't see how he doesn't start week 1. I don't think Prince has been showing like he's the veteran that is going to hold on to the job, and they're giving Damon every single chance to get it. It's for sure going to be his job starting week 1. I think he's going to do all right, though. I think he's going to do all right. I think he's going to be solid, especially by the time we get back to the end of the year, because he's tough and he's confident, and he's going to want to show how good he can be. I believe that he'll be able to help out this defense a little bit. I mean, the secondary is so many question marks to it, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Is Trayvon Mullen going to take another step? I mean, he's dealing with some injuries right now. Is that going to affect him all year, or what is that going to be a lingering thing, or is it something he's going to be able to get healthy over and take the next step that we saw him have from week 15 to 17, where he was pretty lights out from those times? I mean, is Demarius Randall going to play? Is Eric Harris? The secondary is just so many question marks. And if Damon Arnett can help, that would be awesome for the whole secondary. And if he can, have like a Marshawn Lattimore type of rookie year, man, that would help out so much too as well.
There you go. I mean, hey, I'll just take a Trayvon Mullen type of rookie year. It doesn't have to be a Marshawn Lattimore rookie year. You're shooting high, bro. I like that. I like that for sure.
Yeah.
Nah. And the thing about his demeanor, I didn't put in all the clips that I had of him, but when he's getting stock blocked, he's literally I'm not exaggerating. He's literally throwing receivers to the ground. When the runs come to his side, he's sticking his face to the fan, so to speak. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid of getting in the mix. So I think he has the temperament, to withstand being a rookie, because you're going to get tested. If you're a rookie starting outside corner, you're going to get tested. You're going to go up against some really good players, mm-hmm. especially in the AFC West. You're going to go up against the Keenan Allens. Mm-hmm. and the Tyreek Hills. Yeah. So he'll be tested early and often, but I think he has the kind of temperament to not have like a mental block against his performance. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. You look at DJ Hayden, and it took him a long time to get it figured out. He had the talent, he had the great feet. And it took him, until his like 6th or 7th year in the NFL, bounced around from team to team or whatever, before he was like a really good slot corner or something like that for Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
But it took him a long time because like that mental side of the game that you're not able to notice just through film study, just being us, we're amateur, draft nicks and, just watching, the YouTube cut-ups or some all-22 that we get our hands on. Yeah. You don't know about these guys' personality. And I think that's the reason why Mike Mayock ended up taking him above, some guys like that I liked. I like Jeff Gladney. I like Trayvon Diggs, but he took him above those guys. And I think it has a lot to do with the personality and them thinking that the personality is what's going to make him be able to contribute early.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. I think Mayock just saw a player that was tough and fit the scheme. And it's like, he's
Right.
tough. He fits the scheme. We're ready to go. We're ready to take him. All right, man. So, we went through a little, another rookie. You got Damon Arnett. We went through the red zone offense. Any final thoughts, BD? Any final thoughts? Maybe training camp thoughts? Anything?
Yeah, man. Everyone's talking about this guy, Javin White. Is it Javin White or Javen White?
I think it's Javen.
Javen White, UNLV, a linebacker, safety. It's going to be interesting because it sounds like Tanner Muse is kind of in the weeds right now as far as picking up the Paul Gunther scheme.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Clemson ran a really tough scheme, and Tanner Muse is having to move around everywhere. So I don't understand if it's mentally a little too much for him. But
I think Tanner Muse's his problem is more than mental. I think it's more about movement skills because that's kind of a preview to next week because I'm gonna be going over him for our Ricky review.
Okay. Okay. Let's not give it up. But yeah. No, it's interesting because it's like everywhere you go, every single Raiders beat writer is talking about Javen White.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting one to see. If he can beat out Kyle Wilber. Look, here's my stance. If Kyle Wilber, okay, God bless this man. If Kyle Wilber is still on the Raiders roster, the linebacker depth has not improved. Okay.
Okay.
Someone's got to beat this guy out. If Kyle Wilber is still the fifth linebacker, it's okay. One injury, and this is we're not in a good situation here.
Yeah.
All right.
That is so true, man. The linebacker depth is really scary, especially if Muse is not because Brett Venables' defense will have you NFL ready. So I don't think it's about his mental. And I know he's changing positions and your eye level changes and all that stuff. And I'll go into that more next week. But I mean, I think a little bit is he didn't do some of the drills at the combine. Let's just say that. he just skipped those. So
okay, all right, yeah.
I don't know if he was injured.
His agent was like,
he's like, nah. You go ahead and run the 40.
Right.
But that 3 coming, I don't know.
Anything around the corner, let's not bang with that. All right. Tanner.
So but I think another standout for camp. I mean, I saw Vic Tafer. He talked about Keyshawn Nixon. I thought that was interesting. That he's having a really good camp.
I love Kiki. I love him, man. Yeah. I thought I watched him last year. I was like, bro, this guy's the goods. When he filled in for Trayvon Mullen. Yeah. And then not to mention his work on special teams. He's a great gunner. That's how you make the team when you're we're talking about like what 4th, 5th, 6th corner at this point, Yeah. So his value that he has on special teams and plus being a spot guy, maybe he has some position flexibility. Maybe he could play some inside nickel as well as playing on the outside. I really like Keyshawn Nixon a lot, man. I think this guy's the goods.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and he's having a good camp. I know the whole talk. Everybody likes talking quarterbacks. I guess Mariota's not having a good camp.
Imagine going from Oregon, okay, and then you're playing at Tennessee, okay, and then you get to John Gruden's offense, okay. Yeah. Imagine that. It's like having to learn a new language on the fly.
Yeah, but he did play for Matt LaFleur. Right. So I'm like, there's a little bit kind of West Coast. West Coast, a little bit of West Coast, right? I think
John Gruden is not going to distill the offense. He's not going to make it user friendly. It seems like now.
Yeah.
All of this. Okay. Yeah. That's what separates John Gruden. That's like an old school approach. And a lot of people don't like that about John Gruden. And it might be a valid argument. Yeah. But he's not going to have one word calls and things to make it easy. He's making this as hard as it possibly can be,
That is true. That is true, man. So, I guess it's
I like Mariota, though. I think he's going to get it. I think Mariota.
You think he's going to get it? See, I'm not a fan. Yeah. I've never really been a fan. So,
I think if Mariota is a backup quarterback, that's good.
Oh, well, that's see that I just don't. If I just don't want him to play. I guess that's just me. Like,
Would you rather have Nate Peterman?
No, I would not. You got me there. That's what I'm saying. As a backup, like if Carr, I mean, I feel like if Carr goes down, I think the season's over. But if Carr has
Right. He
I
gets
don't know.
banged up.
Yes.
You
And then
need
Mario has to
someone
come
in.
play a couple,
Right.
like a game or two. I feel comfortable with him coming in and going 1-1, basically. Like I feel like he
Right.
could pull out one of them. The defense might have to help him a little bit, but
He could pull out one of them. And that's the thing about Mariota. Remember that playoff game against the Bills where he single-handedly won it? Remember, like he threw the pass and it got tipped up.
Oh, the
and he
Chiefs
caught
game
it
you're talking about, yeah.
and
I mean, that's what
that was
Raiders
the Chiefs
fans
game.
love because he run an Arrowhead. But go ahead,
Bro. This guy, he's a gamer, and I think Mariota's if he just gets out of the the fog and the haze of like the John Gruden offense, and he's in a perfect situation because he's a backup. He'll just like, shoot, let's just do this thing, like screw making the coaches happy. Like, I'm not gonna get many chances. Let me just go out here and make plays. I think he's got the ability to do it. He's proven in the NFL that he could do that. So I think that's a perfect situation for him. To, if Derek Carr gets a little banged up, like you're saying, he has to play a couple games maybe, and maybe at the end of some games, I think that's a great situation for Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely, that's what I'm saying. I'd feel comfortable if Carr went down for a couple of games and he was able to come in and kind of fill in. So he'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a bad situation though.
Yeah,
let's hope that doesn't happen.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, man. So that's it for Taped On Live episode 2. Hopefully you like this episode. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at @TheMarkJohnNFL, at BDWilliams18. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you are a first-time listener, first time checking us out, hit subscribe. Subscribe to this. We're going to be doing a lot of great content, like I said. So make sure you follow us on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. All right. Any last words?
Also, guys, read Marcus's work at the Raiders Wire. Okay. Sorry, what's the expand the box score? Okay.
Yeah.
This guy is a hard working man. Read his work, Raiders Wire, expand the box score. He's jumping into all things football. You can also read my work at Just Blog Baby.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, definitely read both our works, man, because then we put the film to the word. So, for some great articles. So check those out as well, man. All right. So we'll see you next week.
Until next time, guys. Taped On Live. Peace.
Peace.